Hello everyone, it's Chrissy from Chrissy's Beautiful Life here for this month's Stash Bash. We are working with out-of-print manufacturers, and I am showing you what I am using. So it's not out of print in the fact that this brand is Recollections. It was their version of a smash book, but they no longer make these little binders that have all these little papers in it anymore. So it's what I went with because when I went into my stash and tried to find like an October Afternoon or a Basic Gray or a KI Memory, something along those lines, I didn't have anything. I don't know. I swear I had some old manufacturer stuff, but I don't. So this is what I'm going to go with. And I'm just going to go ahead and fussy cut each one of those numbers out. It's 1 through 9. Lay them up on a vertical. That's vertical, right? Strip there, kind of staggering them so that they fit in a fun way. And what I'm going to do here is document the 9 things I miss about Jackson being a toddler. So he turned 4 in January, and he was already starting to show signs of not being a toddler last year. You know, about mid last year, maybe October, maybe even a little bit earlier than that. As they get into 4, right? They're not really toddlers anymore. And though toddlerhood was kind of hard for us with Jackson, we had definitely had some challenges. There's so many things that were fantastic, and I am going to greatly miss about him not being a toddler. And the biggest one right now, because it just happened right before he turned 4, beginning of the year probably, is he stopped calling me mommy and now only calls me mom. Like, what the heck? And then on top of that, every once in a while, he still calls Sean. Sean can still be daddy. And I think it's because when I address him, I say daddy when we're talking about him. So that could be why. But yeah, no, it's mom and dad now. So things like that. I also talk about the change in his TV shows that he watches and things like he was, of course, as a little baby and stuff, obsessed with he had that fox that I've documented multiple times. So I do talk about how he needed to know where his fox was at all times. And now he still has it. It's in his room when he goes to bed, but he doesn't have to have it at all times, and he doesn't miss it if it's not around, which is a huge change, right, compared to what it used to be. And so just things like that. I listed out 9, and it was a little bittersweet writing it out and all of that, but I'm really happy that I made this layout. And I think I'm going to put this into his album, which talks about like it's kind of his birthday album, so a yearly album where I put stuff in. I think I've talked about that before. He gets 3 layouts a year within that little album. So a birthday layout, and then 2 more that just represent the year. And this is going to go in there, I think, because it is quite a different stage in life. And I want him to be able to see that and for him to know how I felt about him not being a toddler anymore. Wow, long-winded explanation. Sorry there. I am using to balance off the bright colors that are in those numbered papers some Amy Tangerine collection. Now, I'm not exactly sure which one this is. I'm so sorry. It may be Hustle and Hearts. I didn't actually look when I was using it. As you can tell, this is going up late. Everyone posted yesterday. I thought the 20th was on Thursday, not Tuesday. So I'm was like, what is going on? So thankfully I had Tuesday off and was able to finish this layout up yesterday. And then of course I went to go do my voiceover last night, and my phone is so weird. Everything goes to the cloud right away, and I'm not able to get it to download and let me do my voiceovers. So I'm doing my voiceover this morning bright and early. It's like 5 a.m. So the struggle, right? The struggle is real some days. That's okay. It's done. I love it. I still was able to participate even though I'm behind, and thankfully all the other crafters are so graceful and understandable that it's all gonna be okay. So I also, as you can see, added some mixed media, and I did this because I didn't like the stark white behind all the layers, especially while adding my title. And I felt like adding that, and then I accidentally dumped other things on. My desk is a disaster. I felt like it just needed more. And so it also wanted to add some pink onto that side because there's pink with the numbers and stuff. I don't really, I've talked about this, have an issue adding pink to my boy layouts. That doesn't bother me. I do tend to do it, like you can see there, in really small doses, so it's just a little tiny border there and stuff. I don't make it a big feature, but sometimes that added pop of color works really well, and a lot of times it reads itself, I found, as red more so than a pink color. This one, it's quite a bright pink and you can tell it's pink, but it definitely doesn't bother me, and I actually really like the contrast it's using. It helped that I'm using a black and white photo there, but I think it works really well. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add my title in full, and I'm using these. I don't know where I got these from. Definitely one of my big spending hauls that I did back in last year. I ordered these and they're beautiful. They're little tiny alphas and they work perfectly. And then I'm using the word reason, miss, and toddler in that fun cursive font. I am then switching out and using a little bit of a lighter pink, and that is again from that Recollections pack. So I've used it in 3 different places, which is nice to be able to use what you're supposed to be stash bashing more than once. And then I'm just going to add my little bits of final embellishments. I don't add a lot. I felt like adding too much would make it too heavy because there's so much journaling and brightness onto the one side. I didn't want to take away from that, and the photo is really a secondary thing in this layout. They were taken New Year's Eve, and they have nothing to do with the journaling, but I wanted a photo that was taken of him right before he was actually 4, because we're talking about the transition into not being a toddler anymore. So I didn't want to use like photos from when you could tell he was a toddler, and so that's where these photos came from. But it needed something. Like, I can't just not embellish. It's just like I can't not layer. I've got to do stuff in order for me to feel like my layout's complete. And so I really went through some embellishments to try to figure things out. And I kind of got frustrated and I stopped recording, and then it kind of all appeared. So I apologize about that part, but you know, it's some days it happens. I do grab the little boy from this Paige Evans sticker sheet. They're like the washi sticker things, and I put it on a piece of white paper and cut around it to use it. I felt like that really helped kind of just go with the story here. And I really wanted to use, I've tried to use this silly sticker that says here's to new adventures a gazillion times, and I cannot make it work on a layout. So I'm gonna have to make that the feature so that I can get it used up before I ruin it and it's not gonna be usable anymore. So there you go, the final look at my layout. Thanks everyone so much for watching, and I'll be back next month with another Stash Bash.